As we all know, Kate Middleton got sick and it was announced that she was going through cancer treatment. Now she's gone away to get better, but a new report says that she may never come back for her royal duties. Now, have we seen the last of the princess? Well, here's what we know so far. The Princess of Wales has remained largely out of the public eye since revealing her cancer diagnosis to the world in March, and it appears as though she may never come back to the role that people saw her in before, a source told Us Weekly. Now, Kate appears to be on the road to recovery, but that doesn't mean things will ever be the same. Now, in her emotional March announcement, the princess revealed that she was in the early stages of preventative chemotherapy treatments. During recent weeks though, she's been spotted running errands with family members and by herself. Kate's feeling strong enough to be very involved with the kids, an insider exclusively shared in the latest issue of Us Weekly. She's been an active parent, adds a second source. Kate's recovery is going well. She's not able to see many people because she is susceptible to getting sick and they don't want her to be compromised, but she's up and about. Still, questions about her return to royal duty remain in the air, with the latest report claiming she won't resume work until the fall or even next year. While a royal aide revealed in mid-May that Kate had been briefed on a new report published by her Early Years Foundation, the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, a Kensington Palace spokesman was quick to clarify that it did not signify that she's back to work. "We have been really clear that Kate needs the space and the privacy to recover right now," the palace said, adding she will return to work when she has the green light from doctors. Now, according to a second source, Kate's team is reevaluating what she's going to be able to take on when she comes back, noting she may never come back in the role that people saw her in before. When Kate is able to go back, it will be based on medical advice, and it will be very carefully balanced, said the source, adding that her health battle is obviously tremendously draining. Now, Kate had the public worried at the beginning of this year because she appeared to be missing. Kensington Palace made the announcement that Kate had a planned abdominal surgery in January 2024. The palace released a statement that said the surgery was successful and it is expected that she'll remain in the hospital for 10 to 14 days before returning home to continue her recovery. Though it was initially thought to just have been a non-cancerous condition, tests following the operation revealed that cancer had been present. The princess described the diagnosis as a huge shock in a video statement released on social media. "My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I am now in the early stages of that treatment," she said. Now, the princess also said that she's getting stronger every day with her family by her side. "It has taken time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment, but most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that is appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay." Now, Kate said that she had told them that she is well and getting stronger every day by focusing on things that will help her heal in mind, body, and spirits. She praised Prince William for being by her side as a great source of comfort and reassurance, as well as the support she has received from the public. "We hope you will understand that as a family, we now need some time, space, and privacy while I complete my treatment. My work has always brought me a deep sense of joy, and I look forward to being back when I am able, but for now, I must focus on making a full recovery," the princess said. Now, the announcement was a devastating blow for the British monarchy, as King Charles is currently undergoing treatment for an unspecified cancer, which was announced by Buckingham Palace in early February. Now, with the possibility of Kate never coming back, what does that mean for the royal family? I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out, but we all wish Kate a speedy recovery.
At 2 p.m. today, I was sitting in front of my computer, shocked that I was finally about to see a statement from Kate Middleton herself. After seeing so many weird Photoshop theories, distorted images, and more, I couldn't believe I was this close to answers. In the video that was released, and under a heavy embargo for most of today until it was, Kate was shown in a lovely striped white sweater, sitting on a bench outdoors that was surrounded by gorgeous spring flowers. Ergo, there was no doubt that these words were coming straight from her mouth, and recently. She was also looking super natural, makeup free, and, may I say, glowing. She mentioned that she wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you, personally, for all the wonderful messages of support and for the understanding while she's been recovering from surgery, which is referring to the planned abdominal surgery she underwent on January 14th. This we already knew. She went on to say that it's been an incredibly tough couple of months for her family, but she's had a fantastic medical team who have taken great care of her, and once again highlighted how grateful she is, which we expect nothing less. She's always been a very gracious royal, and we love that about her. She mentioned that at the time of the surgery, the doctors thought that her condition was non-cancerous, and that the surgery on that day was successful. So yay, right? Not so much. Turns out that sadly after the operation, the doctors found cancer had been present, which explains why Prince William canceled his royal appointments on that day and all of the appointments for close after that day, and then rushed to the hospital the next day to be with his wife. It was an absolute shock to the couple, and I know it's been a shock for the general public as well. We've been demanding answers all month, and then this? Her medical team advised that she should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and she mentioned that she's now in the early stages of that treatment, so I'm glad to hear. She's also explained that, as everybody can imagine, that's why it took her so long to recover from the major surgery before she could start the treatment. Also, it took a while for her and William to explain everything to their children in a way that's appropriate for them, and to reassure them that mom's gonna be okay. I know I speak for all of us when I say my heart goes out to the entire family for what they're going through. Nobody should have to go through this, and especially not with young children. She did say that she is feeling well. She's getting stronger every day by focusing on the things that will help her heal in her mind, her body, and her spirits, which is very optimistic, and I love to hear it. She also mentioned that having William by her side is a great source of comfort and reassurance, as is the love, support, and kindness that has been shown by the public, which means the world to both of them. I get that she mentioned that twice. I wanted to mention it because she really emphasized it. She closed her statements by saying that she hopes the general public will understand that the family needs time, space, and privacy while she completes her treatment. Her work has always brought her a deep sense of joy, and she looks forward to being back when she's able, but for now, she has to focus on her recovery, and I completely understand that. She also extended her wishes to anybody battling cancer, mentioning that nobody's alone and that they're in her thoughts and wishes. Well, I guess this does explain why William has been canceling a number of appointments over the last few months, so good on him for being able to do so we can spend a lot of time with his wife. I can't believe we were all dissecting photos and videos this month. Also, why was the palace so quick to blame Kate for bad Photoshop? As if a woman recovering from all of this is going to be spending any of her time behind a computer trying to doctor photos for a press release. She's just trying to recover. The day we find the person who did that, I have a million questions. For starters, who were the two people in the video from the Christmas market? Well, the palace and Kate today have continued to reassure people that she's healthy. She's undergoing treatment. I kinda doubt that she was bouncy enough to be walking as energetically as she did in that clip of her of William. Also, I stand by my previous thoughts that the dude in the video had way too much hair poking out from under his cap to be the prince. It's crazy that, visually, everything we got from the palace until today was so distorted and dramatic that the Associated Press now considers the palace an unreliable source. You don't understand how big of an issue that is. The Associated Press is the gold standard of all things media. Since 1846, they've been the most trusted source of fast, accurate, unbiased news in all formats. So for them to say like this is the first big news source other than like Korea and Russia that they don't trust, mind-boggling. Also, this still doesn't explain why Henry was visiting Charles earlier this year. So, I suppose that'll be a different story for a different day. Let me know your theories on that in the comments, by the way. I've been Alexa, your resident emo girly, and I know I speak for all of us here when I say we wish Kate and her family nothing but the best of health and support in the future.
It's been a topic long discussed when it comes to the royal couple, but is it happening? And why do some think we're close to seeing these two divorce? So, what about that missing ring? Here's the thing, it's kind of weird for people to speculate about the meaning of a photo that so many people have been obsessed with exposing as a fake. Like, it's weird to me that some of the people who have actually come out to point out that the photo is clearly fabricated, or at least heavily altered in some way, have then also turned around to try and use it as evidence that Kate and William are getting divorced. I'm sorry. What? I know people are obsessed with the royals to the level that they'd rather spend hours theorizing about their lives than take a few moments to look in the mirror or wonder what this obsession says about themselves, but even with that knowledge, I'm still reeling over this one. So, in the famed fake Mother's Day Instagram post, here is what is happening. In terms of it being used as evidence in a different sort of way than I would have initially suspected. Kate is, in the photo, not wearing her wedding ring. What does it mean? Everyone knows that if you have a wedding ring, it can never leave your finger. If it ever leaves your finger, it means you're definitely getting divorced. Especially if a photo of you, heavily photoshopped or not, was posted to Instagram where you're not wearing it. The travesty. This isn't the first time that Kate has ditched the ring. Obviously, this one taking place in a photograph that many experts have proven has been heavily edited or is just straight up AI, doesn't really lend to credibility in terms of it being usable as evidence. But we're gonna talk about this next one. I mean, if that photo was AI, then the point becomes also completely moot. But out in the real world, where we've seen Kate at events, she has also been known to not wear her ring. Why is she not wearing her ring? And this has been something that has been going on apparently for years. So is it just that Kate sometimes, I don't know, likes to take her ring off because wearing a ring all the time is like a lot? Personal preference perhaps? Or is it a sign that the couple are headed towards divorce? If so, they may have been headed that way since 2017 when Kate was seen without her ring at consecutive events. Some have also cited the affairs of Prince William as the reason for the impending soon-to-be divorce. Some claim Kate is actually boycotting her royal duties and not appearing in public because she caught William amidst multiple affairs at once with multiple women. Infidelity is then cited as being an early warning sign that this divorce would be coming our way eventually. And perhaps the time is nigh because, you know, it's gotten worse. Although that's more speculative than anything in regards to Prince William having multiple potential affairs currently. Even the original scandal, while highly suspicious and confirmed by insiders, like many cheating scandals with the royals, was still speculative. I mean, even if we just point blank knew it happened, they'd probably still be like, never happened. Often actions speak louder than words. And while Prince William's potential affair has never been confirmed, and likely never will be confirmed, let's face it, even if there was a mountain of evidence, there are some other cues to suggest that all is not well in the marriage between him and Kate. When the two were seen together at a wedding last summer in 2023, Kate decided to spend a little longer talking to the bride than her husband, the prince, deemed acceptable. He went over and basically gestured for her to move on, a little bit rudely, some were saying, while she was in the midst of a conversation, and her response was also quite telling. How did Kate respond to this? She simply ignored him. She kissed a girl, but did she like it? Hard to say. Some have theorized that the divorce is impending because Kate is actually gay and has been MIA because she eloped and is off on a yacht right now, running away with her lesbian lover. I think that might be a stretch in terms of explaining her honestly already explained absence. After all, the royals did say she wouldn't be active as a royal until after Easter, which, while quickly approaching, has not passed yet, but I gotta say, I like how creative this theory is, and there's even some proof to back it up. A schoolmate of Kate's, Jessica Hay, did claim that she did indeed kiss Kate, although the two young women were more practicing their kissing skills for boys apparently, as sometimes girls do, but it did get quite heated for a moment there. Her schoolmate also claimed that Kate never really did show interest in girls, or boys actually for that matter, while at school, but she always apparently had a crush on Prince William. Okay, Jessica. If Kate is gay, and right now that is likely a big if to be fair, then could it be possible that she is the one cheating? And that is in part what is ending her relationship with the prince and will lead them to divorce. I believe, honestly, this could be possible based on the fact I feel like we're kind of overdue for a royal to be revealed as queer, and the fact that I think Rose Hanbury, who was dismissed from the castle after allegedly having an affair with the prince while also being close friends with Kate, could have instead been let go because she was having an affair with not William, but instead with Kate. The recent coronation was another moment when it seemed as though true feelings between this couple were exposed. For one thing, the whole family supposedly arrived late, and when they did get there, people complained that they looked flustered. However, if they were flustered because they were late, that also makes sense as an alternative explanation. Many people went over to Twitter though to share photos of the couple and family ascending the stairs at Westminster Abbey and commenting on how miserable they all looked. For some, this is another instance where they feel the sham of the royal couple's happy family life is being revealed. Could also be that they were late and it was raining, but who's to say? Back to the ring one more time. So while the absence of it in the Instagram post feels somewhat less off to me when you consider the photo is likely not even completely real or possibly is entirely fake, to others, it makes things actually worse somehow. Some have said the fact that the photo was deliberately tampered with, likely heavily edited, and yet the ring was not added back in is more of a statement than if it had just been organically missing in the first place, and this had been more of a raw photo. After all, if you are going to edit or revise a photo that much, why not just add the ring in post? With the amount of editing that experts are saying was likely done here, it actually seems more odd that Kate or William or whoever was really behind the post chose to leave it out. And if this was a deliberate choice made by Kate herself, that also seems fairly telling as to where her mind is at. Or she just doesn't like to wear rings. I don't know. Proof of rebellion. Could this be a reason for or proof of the fact that Kate Middleton and Prince William are getting divorced? There are many online who say that Kate not being in the public eye right now and abstaining from her duties as a royal is a specific choice she is actually making to symbolize her rebellion against the system and against the crown, a system which she is fed up with and is simply waiting in the wings to expose. So here's the thing. Other than her absence, we don't have a lot of evidence to really really point to this. And based on what we do know, or rather think we know, of Kate's personality, it also seems highly unlikely. Not just that Kate would be rebelling against the royals, a family and system she actually chose to marry into and may have idolized for a long time if we're to believe what is said about young Kate fawning over Prince William, I'm looking at you Jessica, but also in regards to the idea of her rebelling and abstaining from duties as a sign of her getting divorced. Kate seems to be more of a go with the flow type who at one point when asked who she was by a child at an event actually answered that she was William's wife. I think that response very much sums up how Kate sees herself, or at the very least sees her role. It's weird also that someone would be like, who are you? And you'd be like, I'm married to that guy. That's who I think that tells you that she kind of knows where she's at. Still, some see a seething fury in Kate Middleton that is bubbling just beneath the surface when they look at her. Another telling time that people refer to in regards to the tension between the couple comes from 2017, when they were at Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. During this royal celebration, the two did not look particularly comfortable or happy apparently. In fact, Kate looked downright furious, with some having claimed, including body language experts, that the entire time she just seemed to be like seething and really mad at William, who didn't really have a lot of anger but just seemed like he was like, oh, this is really awkward.
Chances are Kate Middleton is not dancing with other princesses, but hey, chances are chances and you never know. A lot of people have been worried and coming up with theories surrounding where the Princess of Wales could be, and because she hasn't been seen since Christmas Day, there's a lot of theories. So we're gonna be getting into some public theories because the memes have been memeing. Anyways, let's jump into the rabbit hole. It's 2024, who doesn't have a BBL? Well, you can't spell Bible without BBL, right? Anyways, one of the most popular theories right now is that Kate Middleton is simply recovering from her very own BBL. I'm not sure if you have seen or heard about how painful this procedure is supposed to be, and there's so many health complications which would obviously explain her longer than anticipated hospital stay. I mean, the average recovery time for a BBL is roughly 2 to 3 months, and if Kate isn't supposed to be back until Easter, the timeline is lining up. Obviously, I personally don't think this is true, but I love the thought of it. Only the internet would come up with this, and one user on X even tweeted asking the Swifties for help because they're known for solving and spending time finding Easter eggs, but instead, she's asking them to find where Kate is. The whole BBL theory was surprisingly not the craziest theory because the internet is flooded with ideas on where she could be. Kate might be with the Riz god Pete Davidson. Honestly, good, because I'm surprised Young Gravy didn't jump onto this train because it's no secret he loves moms. This next theory gained quite the attention and the palace seems less than impressed. A Spanish TV host, Concha Calaja, sorry for the mispronunciation, claimed that Kate has been put into a medically induced coma due to surgical complications, and they even cited an anonymous source within the royal household. And with a story like this, during a time with no clear answers, people ran with it. However, the palace was not going to let this rumor spread because they have been aggressively pushing back against this claim, even describing the TV host coma story as total nonsense. But of course, you can't stop the internet from coming up with more possibilities, and some are more wild than others. Have you ever had a bad haircut and just wanted to hide it until it grows out? Because that is what Kate Middleton could be doing right now. Well, at least according to the internet. One tweet went viral after a user googled how long it takes for bangs to grow out, and it stated around 3 to 4 months. But other factors vary on this time, and now some are convinced Kate is hiding to grow her hair back. And to be honest, I doubt this one is true, but if it is, I can't blame her because I do the same. But this wasn't the only theory because someone else posted a ton of possible reasonings, with a secret baby being on the list, and in brackets they wrote Ginger. So I'm not sure if they were talking about the baby being Ginger or being named Ginger, who knows. Another theory from the same user was that Kate took hide and seek a little too seriously, but clearly she's winning if that's the case. Okay, so our next theory has been circulating Reddit, as many believe it sounds very possible. However, I would like to remind you that this is just one person's speculation and a theory, so take it as a grain of salt. Quite a bit of the speculation is regarding the alleged troubled relationship Kate has with William. So the last time Kate was seen was the same day the ambulance was called, and her birthday was in January, with not a single post on social media for her or pictures of William looking after their kids. This alone is a little suspicious, but it gets even more interesting because there were no visitors to the hospital, no public well wishes from the royals or even her own family while she was supposedly getting surgery, which has caused some to believe that this was just a cover-up for something they're on purposely not releasing information for. This one Redditor shared how their personal guest was a serious physical incident with William on December 28th, and she was hospitalized until the alleged surgery surgery and after she was moved into her parents' home with their kids because they have also not been seen recently. But Kate made it clear she wanted the lives of her children to be remained as normal as possible, and in the initial statement released by Kensington Palace, they said the Princess of Wales appreciates the interest the statement will generate and she hopes that the public will understand her decision to maintain as much normality for her children as possible. And this has led people to further think there was some sort of serious conflict between William and Kate for this to happen, and Kate isn't expected to return to public duties until after Easter. But as for William, he returned to his duties on February 7th, and on February 9th, Daily Mail reported Kate joined her family at their home and she was not photographed there either. And on February 20th, Kensington Palace released a statement on only William's behalf, but this was also shocking to some as since William and Kate got married, they typically release statements as a pair, but this one was a solo statement from William. One user by the name of Calla Quinn on TikTok shared her theory, which has gained over 60,000 views. She believes that Kate is recovering after donating one of her kidneys to King Charles for becoming queen one day. This theory has been spreading because Kate and Charles both recently had hospital visits due to their health, and King Charles received treatment for an enlarged prostate, and it was during this visit to the hospital where it was also discovered that King Charles had cancer. Although he has been since released and been seen, this doesn't stop the speculation that he is currently living with Kate's kidney. Who knows, maybe Kate's recovering slower than Charles for whatever reason, but also probably also very unlikely, but not impossible. Except people are already debunking this because Kate is already going to be queen one day regardless, and giving Charles a kidney technically prolongs the wait to become queen, but still a theory. Something Kate is working overtime, yep, and not in their royal duties, but for reality TV content. This sounds ridiculous, but kind of rooting for it to be real because this is kind of funny and iconic. So Network 10 recently released a few hints on who's going to be going to the jungle for the next season of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So before these celebrities jump onto the show, they pretty much go completely silent beforehand in order to not raise too much suspicion. So this theory believes that the so-called recovery time Kate is taking is actually her preparing for her big appearance on TV and starting her reality TV career. As believable or unbelievable this theory is, it's not the craziest one, that's for sure. So you thought her potential TV debut was wild, right? Well, that isn't the only job she's trying to pursue, because another theory was that she's currently working at the Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow. If you have not heard about this event, it was compared to Fyre Fest for kids, as the entire event was the total opposite of a kid's dream, and the police were even called as some families were so outraged. But one person who was serving chocolate and looks was Kate Middleton herself. Just look at these photos of her at the event. Insert photos. Clearly, she's slaying the Willy Wonka purple outfit. They probably put the whole event budget on Kate Middleton alone, which is why everything else seemed less than impressive. Obviously, this is just Photoshop, but some wonder if she's just lost somewhere at this experience, or maybe she got sucked into the chocolate river. Kate serves looks and apparently serves art as well, because people are speculating she could be the identity behind the anonymous artist Banksy. One user on X gained almost 50,000 likes for stating, "Not a single Banksy since Kate Middleton disappeared. Coincidence?" While I was in this rabbit hole, I found this account on X back from 2018 with one singular tweet that read, "Kate Middleton is Banksy." And this tweet dates back to 2019. This entire account is based on Kate Middleton being Banksy, and because it was created before all these rumors, I thought it was a little extra funny. Banksy is an English-based street artist, and their real identity has been remained unconfirmed. For years now, randomly his art would be found on the streets, and he is arguably one of the most controversial street artists in the world. So if Kate wanted to keep her royal duties, it would make sense she wouldn't want her art alter ego to come out, so it's anonymous. A more serious theory is the potential that Kate is going through mental health complications, because in the past she has opened up about her struggles with hyperemesis gravidarum, which, sorry if I mispronounced it, I'm not a doctor, that's for sure, but she experienced this during pregnancy. Kate was also becoming one of the loudest voices within the royal family, speaking up for mental health and well-being of young people, as she previously revealed that she and William cared deeply about this cause. In the past, Kate has engaged and focused on mental health health of students, but since she is recovering from her BBL, William's cousin Beatrice has actually stepped up for the cause, which is really great to see. But ultimately, Kate has expressed her past experiences with mental health, and she is in the public eye all the time, plus the added pressure of being a royal would surely affect her mentality, at least I would assume. So maybe she's currently residing with her family in order to stay away from the spotlight, which is clearly working as nobody knows what she's up to, and the extra recovery time may be best for her mental health. This next theory I have no words for, so people have been saying things like, which other royal have we not seen for the past 2 months? Oh, I know, Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Philip, and Princess Diana. But it's what they all have in common that people are raising red flags for, which is that these 3 royals have passed. So yes, people think Kate has joined them in the heavens above, and for obvious reasons I don't want to feed into this theory too much as she does have a family of her own and all that, but it's not only the absolute worst case scenario people are speculating about, because others believe she is missing in general, which she apparently is with her own family, and I personally believe that, but some are saying there are holes in the whole story, which is why there is so much speculation. A spokesperson for Princess Kate actually said that they were clear from the very beginning that Kate would be absent from her duties or public eye until after Easter, and that Kensington Palace would not only provide updates when it was significant, plus they reiterated that she was doing well, and one day after Kate's procedure, the initial statement said that Kate wishes her personal medical information remains private, so honestly she could just be taking her time to have a full recovery out of the public eye. These Kate Middleton memes are reminding me of the whole submarine incident from last year because it was such a serious situation, but the internet was running with it. The internet is one crazy place, but their theories are clearly crazier. Who knows, maybe Kate will debut her new BBL for Easter weekend with her perfectly grown out hair and extra money for working at Willy Wonka's experience.
If you've been keeping up with this bizarre Kate Middleton story, let me tell you that things just got weirder. Princess of Wales is now apologizing for editing a family photo that was pulled by multiple news agencies. She said she was sorry for what she called any confusion over the picture, which was taken by her husband Prince William and then released on Sunday to mark Mother's Day in the UK. The picture is of Kate and her 3 children, where she sits on a wooden chair with her arms around Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte with Prince George behind them. It is the first official picture of Kate since she underwent abdominal surgery nearly 2 months ago. In the caption she wrote, "Thank you for your kind wishes and continued support over the last 2 months. Wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day." But right away people noticed something wasn't quite right about the photo. And only a few hours after it was released, the Associated Press issued a kill notification for that image, meaning the picture should not be used because it appeared that the source had manipulated the image, and that source in question was the palace, which just makes this story even crazier. Now there were a few inconsistencies in the photo, but one of the most obvious ones was the alignment of Princess Charlotte's left hand. Other people brought up the sweater pattern on Prince Louis' shoulder and a jagged white line in the background near his knee. So yes, it was clearly photoshopped. Finally, Kate Middleton admitted that yes, it was. She wrote on Twitter saying, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day." After her apology, an inside source clarified that Kate made what they called minor adjustments to the photo, and that Kate and William's motivation was to offer an informal picture of the family together for Mother's Day. It was supposed to thank people for their support during her recovery after all the internet theories started going around about her, but instead, by the end of the day, it had started a storm of social media stories and legitimate questions around the need for using a photo that was clearly edited. All things considered, it just seems like really bad timing to try to pass off that picture as authentic. And to add to all of that, Kate wasn't actually wearing her wedding ring, which only worsened the speculation that there is really something going on. On January 17th, Kensington Palace released their first statement about her health, informing the world that she had undergone an abdominal surgery at a London clinic. They wrote, "Based on the current medical advice, she is unlikely to return to public duties until after Easter." The palace said that at the time she would spend 10 to 14 days in hospital, and they were clear that she would not be making any public appearances and would cancel and back out of official duties until after Easter. Since the palace first announced that she would be having surgery, rumors started snowballing online that said it could be everything from a cosmetic procedure to a mental breakdown. Other more out there theories said that she's in a coma or that she's been the victim of a sinister palace cover-up, even though Kate was photographed by paparazzi riding in the passenger seat in her mother's car recently. But let's get into some of these wild theories about her because they are crazy. Some people people suggested that Kate Middleton is simply recovering from her own BBL. Considering how painful this procedure is supposed to be and all the health complications that come with it, this might have explained her longer than anticipated hospital stay. As we know, the average recovery time for a BBL is roughly 2 to 3 months. So if you really think about the timeline, I mean, anything's possible. Surprisingly, that was not actually the weirdest theory though. A Spanish TV host claimed that Kate has been put into a medically induced coma because of surgical complications, and they even cited an anonymous source within the royal household. And with a story like this, during a time with no clear answers, people just ran with it. The palace was not going to let this rumor spread, and they had been aggressively pushing back against the claim, saying that the story is, quote, total nonsense. But of course, you can't stop the internet from coming up with even more possibilities, like the fact that maybe Kate got a bad haircut and just wanted to hide until it grows out. One tweet went viral after someone googled how long it takes for bangs to grow out, which is around 3 to 4 months, and that's if you're lucky. So yeah, sure, the bad haircut is another possibility here, but it doesn't really seem likely considering that Kate is known for having fabulous hair at all times. It's literally what makes her outfits look so put together. Another theory comes from Reddit, and it's about the alleged troubled relationship that Kate has with William. So the day the ambulance was called, it was also her birthday in January, and there was not a single post on social media shared of her and William looking after the kids. And this alone was a little suspicious, but it gets even more interesting because there were no visitors to the hospital, no public well wishes from the royals, or even her own family while she was supposedly getting surgery, which has caused some people to believe that this was just a cover-up or something that they are not purposely releasing information about. And this has led people to further think there was some sort of serious conflict between William and Kate, considering that Kate isn't expected to return to public duties until Easter. But as for William, he returned to his duties on February 7th and on February 9th. And on the 20th, Kensington Palace released a statement on only William's behalf about a serious conflict overseas. This was also shocking to some people, since when William and Kate got married, they typically started releasing statements together. But for whatever reason, this one was a solo statement from only William. And some of the theories out there are even more plausible, like the possibility that Kate is going through mental health complications. In the past, she has had struggles with certain issues that she experienced during pregnancy. Kate has also become one of the loudest voices within the royal family, speaking up for mental health and the well-being of young people, because we know that she cares deeply about the cause. She's also expressed her past experiences with mental health struggles since she's been in the public eye all the time, and not to mention the added pressure of being a royal that would surely affect your overall mindset. Another theory from Reddit involves other members of the royal family. One user believes that Kate is recovering after donating one of her kidneys to King Charles, since both of them recently had hospital visits because of their health. As we know, King Charles received treatment for an enlarged prostate, and it was during his visit to the hospital where it was discovered that he had cancer. Buckingham Palace then released a heartbreaking statement on his health, confirming that he is receiving treatment and will be taking a step back from his public duties to focus on his health. It said, during the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted, as subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer. His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties. Throughout this period, His Majesty will continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual. The King is grateful to his medical team for their swift intervention, which was made possible thanks to his recent hospital procedure. He remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. His Majesty has chosen to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation and in the hope that it may assist public understanding for all of those around the world who are affected by cancer. So how did the royal family react to all of this? Well, Prince Harry had a brief reunion with the King after taking an overnight flight from California to visit his father. He landed at Heathrow Airport following an 11-hour flight from LA. He was traveling alone because Meghan chose to stay in the US with their 2 kids. He was driven straight to the King and the Queen's London residence at Clarence House, where the King was resting after outpatient treatment. But Harry and William's lack of interaction during his recent trip to the UK also drew a lot of attention, particularly to the hurt between the 2 brothers. Harry has made it no secret that he wants to reconcile and is said to have reached out to William trying to do so. But at the moment, a source from the palace said that there are no plans for the 2 of them to meet. The insider claimed that William's principal concern is his wife's recovery from surgery, so that is really the only thing he cares about at the moment. Besides, Harry only ended up spending 24 hours in his home country. During his visit with his father, which lasted only only about 30 minutes, Queen Camilla made a deliberate effort to be in the room. But we have no details about any meeting with William because he simply did not visit his brother's family. Speaking about the tense situation, a source close to the royal household said it would be the normal run of things to go and see your sister-in-law who's had a serious operation and also see your niece and nephews, but it isn't normal. It's terribly sad. The family torment is an open sore. There is such a profound breach there. Trust was a major concern in Harry's memoir Spare, as well as his Netflix documentary with his wife Meghan. More recently, he traveled to the UK to attend libel cases involving UK newspapers, and in his court testimony, he brought up his relationship with William and Charles, revealing that the king had stopped taking his calls when he was trying to discuss stepping down as a working royal. Harry also said that Charles pleaded with his sons, saying, "Please boys, don't make my final years a misery," and this was after the funeral of the king's father, Prince Philip. You might remember that Harry sued News Group newspapers last year for multiple unlawful acts committed from the mid-90s until 2016. In court documents, he alleged that his brother William received a very large sum of money from News Group in 2020, all a part of a settlement in a phone hacking lawsuit. In his witness statement, he wrote, "My brother appeared to know an awful lot more than I did on the subject of phone hacking, although he did not tell me if that was the case. However, News Group still settled his claim for a huge sum of money in 2020 without subjecting him to a similar strikeout application, without any of the public being told, and seemingly with some favorable deal in return for him going quietly, so to speak." Some people also asked Harry why he didn't go through with the lawsuit sooner. Well, he said that Charles seemingly blocked any legal action that he wanted to take against the tabloids about phone hacking, and he thinks this was all a part of a bigger plan to fix their image. Harry wrote, "They have a very specific long-term strategy to keep the media on side in order to smooth the way for my stepmother and to be accepted by the British public. When the time came and anything that might upset the apple cart in this regard was to be avoided at all costs." Now, as you can imagine, that trial most likely did not help his strained relationship with Charles, but while they are said to have their differences, the two of them are also said to be on speaking terms at the moment, considering the fact that Harry called his father on his 75th birthday last year. I mean, that is really the bare minimum, but after everything that's happened, it's understandable. Sadly, his relationship with William seems to be even worse, and at this point, people are seriously questioning whether the two brothers will ever reunite, even in the face of something as scary as the king's diagnosis. It's possible, but honestly, it just doesn't seem likely.